Hi friends, strangers, internet, welcome back. I'm here today with a hybrid style video. This is where we're taking duping the vibes and kind of mashing it together with creating your own custom palette. The original inspiration for this video was duping the vibes of the Jouer Tan Lines palette. That's a new palette that was released that is half neutral, half colorful. Basically, the Jouer Tan Lines palette, when I started looking at that palette, what it felt like to me was a tropical beach right at dusk. So you were getting the warm sky that's like in those peachy tones. The sun, it isn't maybe a full sunset yet, but it's starting to get there. And then you have the water, the deeper blue color, the shine and shimmery light blue with the greens and the yellow that's kind of either pulled from some palm leaves or from the sky or the water. Just like a really pretty palette of colors. And as I started thinking about that more, I was more inspired than the original Jouer palette made me feel. I originally pulled together the full 14 shadow palette based on this Jouer palette. In the process of filming that first video, I pulled 9 shadows out that felt like my perfect 9-pan palette. And I started feeling way more inspired by that streamlined color palette than anything I was seeing in the mainstream. So that's why I've created this 9-pan palette. Basically, I took the inspiration from mainstream along with some creative inspiration to put together a color story that is much more colorful but still has a nod to slightly neutral tones in formulas and finishes that I love. I am going to walk through the palette and swatch it out for you and maybe give you some thoughts of why I put these colors in there. And there's also going to be 3 looks using this palette, and that will be coming up in another video. I'm going to start from this row down and we'll talk through what I picked out, why I chose it, and do some swatching. This first color we're going to be talking about, this is Get Naked by Looxi Beauty. This color is a neutral tone done in such an interesting way. In the pan, it looks like a champagne or beige shimmer. But when you swatch it, you get shifts of blue and green and peach. I really like this kind of color in this story because you could easily put this all over the lid to get like a wet shiny eye look and put like just a little pop of green or blue in your inner corner, or do a little wing with one of the colors, and you would get something that is like a 2 eyeshadow look that's still interesting or pretty. And I would have never pulled this specific color if I hadn't seen that original Jouer palette, because there was like a soft peachy shimmer in there and it inspired me to look into my nude selection. The next 2 colors are mattes, and basically it's 2 levels of intensity in color. The first color is Sorbet, also by Looxi Beauty, and this next color is called Remission. So in the pan and in swatches, Remission reads much more pink than Sorbet, but they will build on each other in terms of intensity. For example, both of these colors are in this eye look, so I started with the softer peach tone and then I used the pink only in the inner and outer corners. When you're blending it with this peachy tone, it tends to bring out the warmer color in Remission so that it doesn't read just like pink on the eye. But if you were wanting to play with a pinker tone, you could use that and not use the peach and have like a soft pastel pink, or build it up and do a more intense color. Also, this kind of tone could be used on its own. If you wanted to deepen it up a little bit, you could pull in a matte brown, but it did not at all feel necessary for this color story. So now we're getting into like the color part of the palette. I actually saw the Jouer Tan Lines palette in person. Once I saw it in person, I realized, oh, but I would actually want both a shimmer and a matte in this kind of story. So I've raved about yellow shadows on here a lot. In this case, I went for slightly different tones from what you have seen me work with before. So the shimmer yellow is another Looxi Beauty shadow going by the name of Lick It, Slam It, Suck It. So for this shimmer yellow, I went with a more intense true yellow color, yellow shimmer without being gold. This is what's down the center of the eye, and you can just see how much shine that has. It would be very nice on the inner corner of the eye, or you can go like yellow all over and bold, which is also why I pulled in Capri from Divina Cosmetics. I've raved before about the colored rain, lemon drop color, but in this color story, that color felt much too orange. Capri by Divina reads more true like sunshine yellow. This color will play really nicely with these tones because it's not quite a pastel, but it's also not a primary tone yellow. And when you're looking at your color stories, when you're putting together palettes like this, it's important to think about not just the colors that you love in your collection, but how those colors will work together in terms of formula, tone, intensity level, all of those things. So the next color in my palette is probably one of my all-time favorite colors ever. It is very well loved. It is Relapse by Lethal Cosmetics. So again, my initial inspiration, that green was much more lime, and this one is more of an acid green. It's just one of those colors for me that I can't get enough of. I could build an entire look based on that color and a shimmer, and it would look interesting and fun. I personally think that this color is a great addition to your collection, especially if you've been eyeballing some of the neon tones that are coming out. This color from Lethal is a great place to start. Next color is also from Lethal Cosmetics, and it's called Vertex. Vertex is a shimmery lime green. The brilliant thing about these two colors is you can lightly tap this color over the matte acidic green so that the overall look on the eye is a more lime green color, but it reads fairly matte. A mostly neutral eye with this popped in the inner corner would give you like this shocking bright pop that would not be too scary for somebody that is more of a neutral lover. So the next color in the palette is a shimmery blue. In my initial look at the Jouer palette, I couldn't tell if that blue was more teal or more icy, and then I wasn't sure what way I wanted to go. I decided to stick with a blue that I think reads a little bit more icy on the eye than teal, and I'll explain that when I get to the very last color in the palette. So this color is Aqua Vitae from Cliona Cosmetics, but one of the new Divina Candy Exploders is a blue that shifts a little purple that would work in this kind of palette. There's tons of shimmery icy blues out there. I adore the shine and reflection in these Cliona shimmers, but this specific formula is not going to make or break this palette. The thing about Aqua Vitae that I do really like is that it has a gold shift to it, and to me this makes this blue a much more approachable blue, because depending on how you pair this, it might pick up the like golden beigey brown tones that you put it next to, or it may accentuate a more intense deeper blue. It's one of those colors that I love putting like on my lid or in a bigger area because you really see the shift of that gold more. But so the last color in the palette, this is Equilibrium by Lethal Cosmetics. So Equilibrium is a much more green-based blue than I was initially looking for. The Jouer Tan Lines palette, my original inspiration, the blue that's in that palette, I would describe it as like a blue with a green kind of base or a green shift. It's a pretty dark, deep blue, but you get like a shine of green. And I do have a color from Looxi Beauty that is fairly similar to the original palette color, but it's discontinued. Its formula is not anywhere near as nice as Lethal Cosmetics and this shimmer. This color, it adds some depth to this palette, but it doesn't stray from this like oceanic kind of tropical feel. So the deepest blue feels intimidating to use, but you do like brighter colors, I would layer the two and you can get like a medium tone shiny blue. This equilibrium would make a beautiful winged liner on a peachy toned or yellow toned look. It has the intensity and color and the formula that you could just swipe it right on with a liner brush, and it has pretty full opacity and color. This would also make a beautiful smoky eye, or just like you see with so many of those neutral with a pop of blue palettes that are out there, doing a neutral eye and like a blue lower lash line would also totally work with this color. How I feel about this palette is that I've already used it 3 times in like less than 3 days, and I'm still inspired and interested in this color story. I feel like I can truly build a variety of looks that are going to be different and special each time. At the same time, I feel like I could give this palette to somebody who is new to color but interested, and that they could most likely navigate their way through this palette. These are all fun colors to get started with if you're a little new to the color game. So that's my duping the vibes and creating your own colorful palette video. I hope you enjoyed this video and showing a little bit of my creation process. This is my second round of recording this. I hope that my thoughts are a little bit more cohesive now. Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope you stick around to see the 3 looks that I created with this palette. I will have that video coming out a little bit later this week, but I think before then, you're going to see my first ever collab, and that I'm also very excited about. Let me know what's on your wish list. What palette are you seeing out there that is intriguing you? And if any of those palettes are something you would want to see duped out or used as inspiration, please let me know in the comments. I would love to keep doing these videos, whether it's a direct dupe of a palette that's come out or something more inspired. I think I'll be playing with both of the concepts, and I would love to hear what you all like and what seems most interesting to watch. For everybody that found me through Teresa is Dead, thank you for coming by. I hope you stay around, and thank you for everybody for being so kind and encouraging to me with every video I upload. Many thanks for spending some of your day with me. I hope I'll see you again real soon. Bye, friends.